'Tis the season, the most wonderful time of the year. Celebration with friends and family. It's time to pay tribute to this jolly month. So join us as we get into the Christmas spirit. You've heard of Elf on the Shelf, but this is Venom on the Shelf.
Took a look at the 1967 classic animated Disney film, The Jungle Book. And during Disney's tirade of remaking all of them into live action, this one got hit too in 2016. Much like the original, the film tells the story of Mowgli, still incorrectly pronounced as Mowgli, but whatever.
This isn't fair.
A human, or man cub, played by Neil Sethi, who in this version loses his parents to the jaws of Shere Khan, voiced by Idris Elba, and is saved and protected by a panther called Bagheera, voiced by Ben Kingsley. He's raised by wolves, where Mowgli turns into Dennis the Menace mixed with Tarzan, making traps and techniques to capture food and to generally get around the jungle. Eventually, for his own protection from Shere Khan, he has to flee to the man village, where he meets a bear called Baloo, voiced by Bill Murray, but is then kidnapped by Kaa the Snake, voiced by Scarlett Johansson, and then King Louie, a giant ape, voiced by Christopher Walken. But it all comes down to Mowgli fighting back and taking on Shere Khan and learning to be a man and a wolf at the same time, leading to the tiger's demise. But in this version, strangely, Mowgli doesn't actually leave for the man village and finds peace within the jungle.
Nothing lasts forever.
The movie was actually greenlit as far back as 2013, but it wasn't even the first live-action adaptation of the story. That actually came in 1994 and then again in 1998. Jon Favreau was brought in to direct, and as a huge fan of the original film, he wanted to maintain the undeniable charm of the classic whilst making a more realistic version with a lot more at stake. He also wanted to update it, since nature is a lot different to when Rudyard Kipling wrote the classic story so many decades ago. He felt like back then nature was something to overcome, whereas now it's something to protect. He was encouraged by the studio to take advantage of their new CGI and motion capture technology, but he admitted to taking elements from the 1953 film Shane, Goodfellas, and even Apocalypse Now. They used real animals' movements, but then computer animation to make it look as real as possible, using Babe for inspiration, though the animals are actually portrayed a lot larger than they actually are in real life. The Jungle Book was released on April the 15th, 2016 and became a huge financial success. It actually became the highest grossing remake in history before being surpassed by Beauty and the Beast just a year later. It ended up grossing a total of $966 million on a budget of just $175 million. Others, however, weren't actually fans, some finding it inconsistent, with the director not being able to decide which kind of style he wanted to go with. Due to its insane success, a sequel was actually announced with the same cast and director being shot at the same time as the remake of The Lion King, but it's, for the time being at least, been postponed.
You must be the very worst wolf I've ever seen.
Well, there was Lon Chaney Jr. Also, again, why don't they just eat him? This is supposed to be the more realistic version. This movie should be over in 2 minutes. But how exactly do languages work here? I mean, how does Mowgli learn to talk every single one of them? I mean, I'm guessing each species has their own language. He even acknowledges this later.
Do you have a language?
So how does he talk to wolves and bears and snakes and panthers and tigers? Did he learn every possible language there is? Oh, who cares? This CGI is absolutely incredible. It all looks so real and is some of the best I've ever seen. Although I can't imagine how weird and awkward filming must have been.
I don't know what to do. Do you know, Blue? That's a very good point.
But then Shere Khan shows up and instead of Bagheera just leaving quietly with Mowgli, he just kind of hides him. Even though surely he'd know that he'd be able to smell the little shit.
I can't help but notice there's this strange odor today.
See? Idiot. But already Mowgli feels like an outsider and starts to feel different, alone. It's the same story as the original, but this one develops on it a whole lot more and is definitely a lot darker, especially for a kids film, but it works really well. It's not overkill. In fact, he even goes along with the man village idea in this one instead of resisting, which is really interesting. His motivations to leave actually make sense. He loves his family here, but he knows that there's no other way.
I wish I could tell you that the wolves could have fought Shere Khan. But this is not that kind of a tale.
Why? There's loads of them and only one tiger. But the elephants is handled a lot cooler in this version. They basically created the jungle and they're practically the leaders. They're bowed before and respected, and it's not shown too much, but enough for you to get the idea. It's subtle and a really cool addition. But now, all of a sudden Mowgli starts to question everything and is a bit more hesitant about leaving. Oh, look! Awesome CGI fight scene! That looks amazing. Wait, so Bagheera can take on Shere Khan himself, but not loads of other wolves? Oh look, it's fallen into the leftover Lion King storyboards. I love how we get all of this dramatic build-up, what's Shere Khan gonna do, all this intensity, just for him to flop down. And I must admit, in the original, Shere Khan's voice, he just kind of sounded really posh.
It's me, Shere Khan. I'd like a word with you, if you don't mind.
In this one, he actually sounds intimidating as hell. He is so scary in this.
I thought I made myself clear. I wanted him turned over to me.
I mean, he even throws a wolf off a cliff to kill him. Holy crap! And this is a kid's film. But, how did Mowgli learn to swim? I mean, only certain wolves and panthers know how to swim, but surely they couldn't have taught him because how they swim wouldn't apply to humans too, right? But I must admit, when Mowgli first discovers Kaa's shedded skin, it actually is really creepy. But come on, Scarlett Johansson just can't be scary, right?
Don't be scared.
Oh, I won't be.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
Oh, please do.
Are you lonely here?
Oh, yeah.
I'll keep you safe. Just you and me.
That's all I ask.
Would you like to see?
Now, for real, Johansson actually does a really great job here. Her voice is soothing and calm, not too over the top, but it does come across as insanely creepy and chilling. But why would Kaa give Mowgli this vision of the humans? This is where he basically gives him this flashback to reveal that Shere Khan killed his parents and shows him what men are like. But why would Kaa do this? I mean, in the book, it's actually Kaa who saves him from the monkeys, which weirdly isn't in this film either. It wasn't in the original or this one, which is very bizarre. But you would have thought that, like, if he had more scenes, this would make sense because he redeems himself and saves him. But in this version, this is the only scene he has. She has. Whatever Kaa is. It doesn't make much sense.
The panther found you.
And didn't eat you for some reason. And I can't decide if I like the fact that it was Shere Khan who murdered his parents or if it's just a really forced, unnecessary tie-in. A really forced, unnecessary tie-in. Yeah, it wasn't needed. And Baloo, well, I have some issues with.
You don't remember what happened, do you?
No.
I saved your life.
But I also am the reason you got this piece of shit.
You don't understand.
In the original, Baloo was pretty much everyone's favourite character. He was cool and fun, but here he just comes across as a total dick for most of the movie. He puts Mowgli at risk and uses him to get honey, which he normally does with monkeys. By the way, why doesn't he eat him? He's a bear!
You know what his problem is?
He even lies about hibernation and bullshits throughout the entire film. They kind of took away all of the charm of one of Disney's greatest characters.
Looks like you got another one. Buzz off.
It's a man cub.
A man cub?
Yeah, it's a man cub.
It's not a monkey.
No, it's not. It's a man cub.
You have never been a more endangered species than you are at this moment.
Okay, that line makes up for it.
What's that?
That's a song about the good life.
What's a song?
You never heard a song before?
Well, this is the music that humans like to listen to.
Gucci gang, 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 Gucci gang. Spread their racks on new chain.
Why are you doing this?
And then we get the updated bare necessities, but my god is it awful. Don't get me wrong, I love this movie, I'll say that right now. This film is incredible, but this song is terrible. Bill Murray nails it, but Mowgli just yells over him and is more tone deaf than me. It sounds like that one douchebag who tries to sing along whenever you're watching a musical, but they can't hit any other fucking notes.
I mean the bare necessities, old Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life.
You're the one that I want. Honey, the one that I want.
Don't be mad, okay?
Why would I be mad?
You're always mad when I do stuff. You gotta promise not to be mad this time.
Show me, then I'll decide.
This movie does have some really funny lines. So in a scene that wasn't in the Jungle Book but was actually in another Rudyard Kipling novel called Tumai of the Elephants, he gains respect from the elephants by saving one of their babies, and it really is a sweet and charming scene.
Is this your teaching? Oh, come on. You know I'd never teach him to mess around with elephants.
No, just everyone else. Also, I love how straight-faced he says that line, even though it sounds really bizarre.
You know I'd never teach him to mess around with elephants.
He will stop at nothing until he has this boy.
Nothing. The only way we can save him is if he goes to that man village. Please, Baloo. You're the only one he'll listen to.
How? You raised him and protected him. He's known you for years. You're like his best bud. He's only just met Baloo and he's a complete dickface. And like before, instead of just telling him the truth, Baloo tells me he doesn't want to be his friend again and a piss off. This is still stupid. And then Baloo can suddenly climb walls now. What happened to...
I know I'm asking for a lot, but I don't climb and you do.
And don't say, well, his friend is in danger, so he'll climb. He's only just met him. And now all of a sudden he's going to climb for him? He just met the kid and, by the way, should be eating him. Oh, and they also changed the character of King Louie, who again wasn't in the book. They made him up for the movie, but you know, this one's the more accurate version. Shh.
You knew!
Previously, he was an orangutan, but they wanted this movie to be on a grander scale. So although now extinct, Louie is the final remaining Gigantopithecus, which explains his sheer size. And at first, Christopher Walken's voice is genuinely creepy as hell, and they even animated the primate to look like Walken, adding features to match the actor, and then the song kicks in.
Ooby-Doo, I wanna be like you. I wanna walk like you, talk like you too. You'll see it's true. Someone like me can learn to be like someone like you.
His voice is just hilarious. He's trying to sound like a monkey, but it just keeps cracking. It's so funny. The songs, I agree, aren't needed. They are just here for fan service. They add nothing to the story and they're awful. They're just here because if they weren't, people would bitch that they're not here. Well then why does nobody bitch that the song wasn't in the BFG remake? Because I needed it in there, gosh darn it. Fizz, pop, whiz, bang!
Vera said I have to go to the man village.
Oh, Bagheera, I know him, sure.
It also seems that everybody in this damn jungle seems to know everybody. There's no new introductions.
Is that King Louie?
Except Mowgli. Mowgli's been there his entire life, and yet everyone who knows each other is still surprised, and they're like, a man cub? A man cub? And yeah, I'm not buying for a second that Louie would not see Mowgli sneak off like this right in front of him. And despite his legs creaking just upon getting up as if he sat on his ass for a century, he's still able to walk, run and chase. He's been on the same fraud scheme as Grandpa Joe.
No! You're lying!
But I must admit, Louie is actually terrifying. But why don't Baloo or Bagheera actually kill any of the damn monkeys? They just kind of roll around or throw them about a bit. Also, how come the monkeys and birds don't speak? Who cares? That was funny. But towards the third act, you are truly on the edge of your seat. The whole film revolves around fire, or as they call it, the red flower. There's so much hype as Mowgli gets it, and it's honestly so intense, it really does get your blood pumping. And then the animals get scared of Mowgli, which is an awesome scene. There's a lot of mature themes in this version that weren't explored in the original. Mowgli looks at himself and fears that he's become a man, those his family are against. But he throws the fire away, not wanting to go that route.
Now you have nothing. No claws, no fur, no teeth, and no friends.
This is the law of the jungle, as old and as true as the sky.
What is this?
The wolf that keeps it may prosper, but the wolf that breaks it will die.
You fools!
Like the creeper that girdles the tree trunk.
The law runneth over and
Fine! Rise up, all of you!
Jesus, goosebumps! This movie is amazing! They have a final showdown up a tree as he uses his Inspector Gadget tricks on Shere Khan, and it is just so badass.
I'm not afraid of you! Do you hear me? I'm done running from you!
And I genuinely want him to kick the shit out of this arsehole. This is so cool. And then he dies by falling through Lion King's stock animation. And we don't get the fake out Baloo death in this one. He was a bit earlier, all dramatic, and now just, hi, yeah, I'm still here, go. The movie is actually incredible. It's not just got the CGI going for itself, though that is amazing. It always looks real when Mowgli interacts with them, but the story gets you truly invested. They never assume the audience are idiots, they never patronise their younger viewers, and they also don't hold back with dark imagery. The characters are strong, and although I'm not a huge fan of what they did with Baloo, he's not unwatchable.
Ooby-Doo!
The songs are, but it's still an absolutely brilliant and worthy, charming remake.